Hello everyone. This is my first reaction video. First off, I'd like to apologize for the painter's tape that I have up in the corners. I'm in the process of redoing this home office painting, so I started the project. I'm in the middle of it, but that's what we're working with right now. So I'd like to react to George Carlin's American Dream. We're about 4 days out from the election on Tuesday, November 5th, 2024. And George Carlin's segment called The American Dream, that was actually from a stand-up routine back in 2005. It was relevant then, but I think it's even more relevant now. So I'd like to react to that. So let's go ahead and play the clip. Now I will, it's about a 3-minute segment. I'm going to pause at various sections just to avoid any type of copyright issues. But let's go ahead and let's give it a whirl. Here we go. Take it away, George.
There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks. It's the same reason that will never, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, the city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls.
Spot on, George. Yep, can't argue with that. All right, let's continue. Let's go back a few seconds here. All right.
And information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest.
Isn't that the truth? Man. All right. Keep going, George.
That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street. And you know something? They'll get it. They'll get it all from you sooner or later because they own this fucking place. It's a big club, and you ain't in it.
It's a big club, and you ain't in it. Yep. I've felt that way for a long time now. All right, tell him, George.
You and I are not in the big club. By the way, it's the same big club they used to beat you over the head with all day long when they tell you what to believe. All day long, beating you over the head in their media, telling you what to believe, what to think, and what to buy. The table is tilted, folks. The game is rigged. And nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. Good, honest, hard-working people, white collar, blue collar, doesn't matter what color shirt you have on. Good, honest, hard-working people continue. These are people of modest means. Continue to elect these rich cocksuckers who don't give a fuck about them. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't care about you at all. At all. At all. Yeah. You know? And Nobody seems to notice. Nobody seems to care. That's what the owners count on. The fact that Americans will probably remain willfully ignorant of the big red, white, and blue dick that's being jammed up their assholes every day. Because the owners of this country know the truth. It's called the American dream, because you have to be asleep to believe it.
George Carlin. Yeah, so that was done in 2005, and again, it was relevant then. It's even more relevant now. And how does that pertain to this upcoming election with Donald Trump? Well, I want to say that Mr. Carlin obviously was talking about he talks about the owners of this country, and that's what a lot of us would call the establishment. And over the last my last 3.5 decades as an adult, I've heard people from all sides of the political spectrum rail against the establishment. And folks, I hate to tell you this, but now is the time. If you've ever wanted to overthrow the establishment, now is the time to do so. If the establishment wins this time around, it's over. Whether they win legitimately or not, it's over, and there will be no coming back from this. Because if this movement can't defeat them, nothing else will. The reason for that is that no other person other than the one who is currently leading the charge will ever have the power to do so. Because no other person has the resources and the ability to put up that kind of fight, let alone be successful in doing so. No one else has the necessary combination of material resources, courage, stamina, ability, and mental toughness to challenge such a powerful machine as the current establishment. And additionally, the machinery of electing our officials will have been so thoroughly taken over and brought under the elite's control that moving forward, the only election outcomes we will see are the ones that they predetermine for themselves. I think back to the American Revolution. In 1781, the American Revolution had been dragging on for 6 years. The American forces were tired and running out of resources, and the spirit which had ignited them in 1775 and 1776 had long since disappeared. And leading up to the Battle of Yorktown, which would end up being the decisive victory which would finally defeat the British and secure American independence, George Washington said in 1781, "We are at the end of our tether, and now or never our deliverance must come." Folks, the fight to take back control of our country from the elitist permanent ruling class has reached its limit. We've been conditioned by the owners of this country to dislike the person leading the charge against them. Now, we may not agree with everything this man has been suggesting. We may not always like the way he expresses himself, and we may not like certain aspects of his personality. So those may be genuine misgivings that you have about him. But over the last 8 years, they have been continuously trying to beat into our heads dislike, hatred, and contempt for this man. May I suggest to you that you take a little time to question that message. But don't take too long, because we only have 3 days left. For we too are at the end of our tether. And now or never, our deliverance must come. Best of luck to you all.